Okay, hello guys. Today I'm doing a scenario where the German Empire wins WW1, and I'm going to start in a different way. I mean, it's actually not good. Okay, we'll see. So we see in this case we see the German Empire invade Luxembourg, and France had come to help them. The French front, but the British decide we're not going to join right now. We have other important things to do. But anyways, we see them beginning to march into Luxembourg. Obviously, these guys stand no strong. But then we see the French begin interfering. So yeah, they intervene. Many of the troops come, and they manage to make an impressive pushback. However, it's not that good for the Russians. Okay, anyways, I mean not the Russians, the Germans. Anyways, next, these guys are like, Austria-Hungary, will you help us? They agree to it, and immediately that causes Italy to join. Now, I know, color this. I know Italy did the triple entente, but they hate Austria-Hungary. They want South Tyrol, and they want pain for them. We also see Romania join, but no other country. So yeah, this is officially World War I now. So anyways, we see the Germans managed to make a better pushback. Definitely not bad, that's for sure. And they eventually capitulate Luxembourg, who surrendered. So real quick, just go back, sorry. So yeah, in the treaty, I mean it's not the treaty for World War I, but these guys are just going to make a quick treaty with Luxembourg, full annexation. Sorry. Let me just get this correct. Yeah, and then the rest will also be red. Yeah, that's looking nice. Let's get all the other confusions. Okay, anyways, now that they have taken care of Luxembourg, we have other countries to go. But so let's continue. Now we see them try to push into France, specifically past Alsace-Lorraine, but it's not easy actually. It's pretty difficult. Oh, whoops, sorry. Yeah, I guess you can say they failed. France pushed them back. A second invasion comes. It goes much better, but I mean this is all they're really able to do. Now, the Germans are thinking, what do we do now? Yeah, immediately after they are pushed back again, because yeah, the French have heavily fortified this border, especially in the south. So the Germans have been thinking, if they've done that, then that means, yep, they've invaded Belgium. Or, I mean, they haven't invaded yet, but they've declared war. Let me just quickly save this. Okay. So now we see them beginning to push into Belgium, and they are doing pretty good now. However, they are really struggling, and at this point, the Germans are like, "Hey, if you let us have temporary access to all of this land here, we won't have your people." And the Belgians, the French try to convince them, no, it's not worth it, you shouldn't be listening. But these guys decide to agree to the deal, simply because they don't want the people to suffer any longer. So they leave the war. At this point, two things: the French feel betrayed, and another thing, they're feeling very weak. They're feeling very scared. So now we see them beginning to invade through the lowlands, and they are doing, of course, very well now. We see them pushing from this area here. Okay, so um, yeah, they invade to the lowlands, and we see the great invasion of France begin. However, that doesn't mean France is weak, and they're not when they put up a good fight. We see them manage to cut off this group here, and we see them slowly push in. However, it's not enough uh, defense for them because now they're beginning to cross into this area again. And obviously, this time they have like access to it. It's not through this area where they would struggle. Now they're like properly beginning to invade. We see them push through here again, but they don't make the same mistake. They are forced to just kind of like bows out the defense, the attack, and then they shoot towards this area, and surprisingly, they get away with it. That is until we see them push up, cut the group out, and slowly push into it. So yeah, although the Germans are stronger than them, they're obvious and they're much more in a better position right now. Obviously, that doesn't mean the French are going to lose, and I would say they have better tactics. But eventually, it all falls down. A big part of northern France is lost, and these guys are thinking of surrendering, but they're not because Paris is still like all the way over here, and they can survive for now. Although it's not looking too good. Without Paris, they're basically nothing. And once they lose Paris, or if they get close to Paris, the French will surrender. At this point, they are begging for help. They're like, "Who's going to help us? Hello, anyone, please, I beg." But no one listens. No one cares. And in fact, it's actually, oh, it is. Sorry. So all of a sudden, we see the Russians join the war. At this point, the Germans and especially the Austrians are really, really angry. Like they're like, why? Why? You didn't need to join this war. It was our business. Why do you have to get the emojis? And obviously, Serbia joined the war as well because they're a Russian ally. So yeah, but we do see the Central Powers recruit the Ottomans, who hate the Brits. Oh yeah, let me just quickly get Egypt because that was British. Um, yeah. So, anyways, now we see the war get a lot more bigger, a lot more extreme, and you can see it's looking very familiar now. Like we have basically all the groups. Anyway, after holding a very long defense in Romania, they've decided they need to take action, especially with the Russian threat. So they begin pushing into Romania, especially in the north of the country, and the reason for that is because they are trying to get a longer border with Russia. At this point, they capture all of this before facing stalemate and Russian problems. Anyways, we also see the Russians begin pushing in. So yeah, this is fast blue invasion, which is nice. They begin pushing into Galicia. The Serbians do the same. They begin pushing into what's now modern day Serbia, and they do pretty good. However, they do struggle a lot more. So that's all they're really able to do. Anyways, we see the Russians push further into France. At this point, they're getting absolutely humiliated, destroyed, demolished, and we see the Battle of Paris begin. That's like roughly where Paris is, I'm assuming. So yeah, a big encirclement happens. Most troops are forced to try and retreat, but eventually Paris is lost. So these guys are like, you know what, we can't do this anymore. We surrender. So that's a big turning point for the record. Oh yeah, also I forgot to mention, Italy managed to get South Tyrol. Oh yeah. Anyways, the Egypt thing was a mistake, so I changed it. Anyways, let's continue. So we see the French lost, and we saw Italy got South Tyrol. So now I said the German Empire win World War I. I didn't say the whole group because I mean Austria is too fragile and they can't handle fighting against this many sides. So they're kind of bound to lose this war. But the Germans are having the times of their life. The only place where they're really winning is Romania, but even that's not that good of an accomplishment. Anyways, we see them beginning to push into Russia, but I mean it goes really badly. And they end up losing in more places, and Galicia especially is in trouble. At this point, we see it gets so bad that it gets to this. Anyway, the Germans, I mean, they did get put back a little bit by Russia, but it wasn't major at all. And they're immediately making a much better attack back, counter offensive. And eventually, we see them push towards Warsaw because they know if they can reach that area, if they can reach that city, then they might just be able to make the Polish area fall apart. They eventually managed to capture all of this, but I mean, they didn't really get that much farther because Russia is a tough critic, I guess you could say. Eventually, they managed to capture all of this land here. Yeah, there you go. Oh no, I messed up. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, these guys stick to their promise. They're now giving this piece of land back to Belgium. Surprisingly, yeah, the Germans aren't really known for keeping promises, but for once they did it. Anyway, the Italians began pushing down into this area, and something shocking happened. Wait, let me just first quickly do this. This happened. Like that. Why am I making them green now? Because of that. So yeah, the Russians, the Ottomans, are now done. Yeah, they're now working against the Austrians. They never really liked them that much, and they probably they expected the Austrians to go on their own path too. So they decided, you know what, right now we'll be the ones to do it, not them. So we see them beginning to push into modern day Czechia, and the Austrians feel very betrayed. They have barely any defense on these borders here because they expected their ally to obviously do what allies do, but they were truly just enemies at the end of the day. They expected Italy to do something like this, but they didn't expect the Germans to do it. So yeah, they are absolutely demolishing Austria, and at this point we see like they just fall apart completely. They can't handle it anymore. So I guess I'm just going to split it up like so. There you go. So yeah, they just decided to surrender to all sides. At this point, people are thinking, I mean, there's not really much of a point fighting this war anymore. So they decide to stop. They agree, we shouldn't be fighting this war anymore. They're tired of it. So yeah, of course. Now let me just quickly go back in. Male.